Here joining us now to talk about this a little bit more is Tom Fitton, the president of Judicial Watch. And Tom, thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, good to be with you both. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about this lawsuit a little bit. Part of it focuses on the relationship between the IRS and an atheist nonprofit. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this organization called the Freedom from Religious Foundation had sued the IRS because they supposedly understood the IRS was enforcing prohibitions against campaign endorsements or political speech by pastors from their pulpits, or the campaign speech generally of churches. And so they sued the IRS in order to force them to enforce the law. And what happened is a church came in to intervene and said, hold on a second, you're not going to come in here and take away our First Amendment rights without us having a say on it. And so the Freedom from Religion Foundation pulled back and dismissed its own lawsuit, citing a letter from the Justice Department saying, oh, by the way, we are enforcing the law, and we've targeted 99 churches as a high-priority examination for allegedly illegal electioneering activities. And the church targeting, by the way, these 99 churches, they were selected by a political activities referral committee run by the IRS. And all of that raises all sorts of additional questions, and that's why we filed our lawsuit, because the IRS has stonewalled our request about this committee, about the targeting of churches, about their communications with the Freedom from Religion Foundation. And rather than disclose the information as they're required by law, they refuse to under the Freedom of Information Act. So as we've had to repeatedly with this administration, we went to court to try to get them to respond to our request and get information about what's going on here. I mean, who are these 99 churches that are being targeted? What is their criteria? And as you know or may know, there are serious concerns about whether the IRS can even monitor the First Amendment protected activities of churches.
Now, Tom, how long has this been going on?
The First Amendment gives strong support and protection to freedom of religion.
What specifically are they looking for, and how long has this been going on?
Well, I guess they're looking for comments like vote against Obama. The Freedom from Religion Foundation doesn't even want you to talk about issues of concern during at the voting booth. So if a bishop or a pastor issues a letter saying, traditional marriage is an issue, and you need to take that into account when you vote, the foundation suggests that's inappropriate and prohibited by IRS rules that prohibit churches from getting involved in politics, so they allege.
So what does this have to do with the IRS? Is it just because of the nonprofit status?
Yeah, the IRS is the place that grants or retracts a nonprofit status and for churches. So, if a church doesn't have nonprofit status, their collection plate becomes taxable income to them. Yeah, potentially.
And to kind of play devil's advocate here, Tom, there is a reason why these churches have this tax-exempt status, and they're not supposed to get too directly involved politically. But at the same time, I think what makes this so troubling for a lot of folks is the particular churches, at least the perception that they have, might be a little bit more conservative leaning, and that is why you believe they were targeted.
Yeah, I mean, the IRS is a record of targeting opponents of President Obama, and this is of great concern. Churches have supported Obama, especially in the black church community. And there's a reason the IRS, by the way, hasn't enforced this rule to any great extent, is because they don't think it would, I think it's because they don't think it would fly with the courts. Nonprofit status is a recognition of the church's activities. It's not meant to, it can't restrict constitutionally what the churches have.
That's right. The First Amendment,
which is to
Tom,
talk about.
We got to go. We're out of time, unfortunately, but that's why it is the First Amendment, #1 for a reason. Tom Fitton with Judicial Watch, thanks so much for being with us.